At exactly 5 in the morning, the violent sound of metal striking wood shattered the silence of my home. I was sitting in my dark kitchen, sipping black coffee, just listening. My own son, Vincent, and his wife, Beverly, were on my front porch with some hired guy trying to break down my heavy oak front door with a crowbar. I'm Lawrence Patterson, 62 years old, and a retired military financial investigator. After 35 years in the Army tracking down financial fraud, I figured I'd seen every kind of thief there was. Never thought the worst one would be my own flesh and blood. I could hear Vincent yelling over the heavy morning rain. "I'm getting in no matter what," he shouted, sounding desperate as hell. "Dad's at the VFW retreat in Atlanta anyway. Just smash the damn thing open." I didn't panic, didn't even flinch. I just set down my coffee mug, walked out of the kitchen, down the hallway, and undid the deadbolts myself. When that door swung open, the color drained right out of their faces. They weren't just shocked to see me standing there, they were scared stiff by the 3 people standing behind me in the shadows. Detective Thompson from the Fraud Division and 2 armed agents from the IRS Criminal Investigation Unit. I looked at my son, smiled, and said, "You brought a crowbar to a federal raid, Vincent. Pretty embarrassing. Growing up in a military household, my father taught me you protect what you earn. I spent 35 years tracking hidden assets, unraveling corporate fraud, and testifying in federal court. Built myself a nice little fortune, investing in commercial real estate through shell companies nobody knew about. To my church folks at Grace Fellowship Baptist, I was just Brother Lawrence, the guy who helped with the building fund and kept the books straight. To my son Vincent, I was nothing but a walking ATM. The morning of the break-in started way before Vincent pulled his fancy SUV into my driveway. At 4 in the morning, I'd already let Detective Thompson and his guys into my house. We were sitting at my dining room table, drinking coffee and going through the thick binders of evidence I'd put together against my own son. Vincent thought he was so damn smart. Figured because I was some old guy who spent weekends at church in the VFW, I didn't know what was going on. He'd been forging my signature for 2 years, taking out fake loans against my life insurance and funneling the money into some bogus business to pay for Beverly's country club lifestyle. They thought they'd outsmarted me, thought they could wait until I left for my annual VFW retreat, break into my house, and steal the original trust documents from my office safe. What Vincent didn't know was I'd caught his first screw-up 6 months ago. I'd been watching them, collecting every wire transfer, every fake invoice, and I handed it all over to the feds on a silver platter. The raid on my own home was my idea, a setup to officially seize those forged documents. Standing in my foyer that morning, listening to that crowbar biting into my beautiful front door, I knew exactly what I had to do. Every hit against the door reminded me of all the crap I'd put up with from them over the years. I remembered paying $120,000 for their fancy Hawaii wedding, only to have Beverly stick me at a table by the kitchen because I didn't fit her image. I remembered Vincent asking me for money to save his business, promising to pay me back while Beverly posted pictures of her new designer bags the next day. I remembered when my only grandson was born, and Beverly wouldn't let me hold him without making an appointment first. Said my cologne was too strong for the baby. They took my money, my time, my love, and treated me like some burden they had to deal with. Outside, the rain was coming down hard. I could hear Beverly complaining. "My shoes are getting ruined, Vincent," she whined. "Hurry up and get this door open before the neighbors wake up." The hired guy was grunting, shoving that metal bar deeper into the door frame. "I'm trying, lady," he snapped back, "but this guy's got serious locks on this thing." Vincent slammed his fist against the wood. "Just break the glass," he demanded. "We need to get into his office and grab those papers before the bank opens Monday. If the life insurance company calls him about the loan, we're screwed." Inside, just a few feet away, Detective Thompson shook his head. He looked at me with this mix of pity and respect. "You ready for this, Mr. Patterson?" he asked quietly. I straightened my cardigan and took a deep breath. "Been ready for 6 months, Detective." I stepped forward and unlocked the bottom deadbolt. That loud click shut them up real quick. I unlocked the middle one, then the chain. I grabbed the brass handle and pulled the door open, standing tall as that cold morning air rushed in. Vincent was mid-swing, arm raised, ready to hit the door again. He froze. The hired thug dropped that crowbar with a loud clatter. Beverly gasped and stumbled backward, nearly tripping in her expensive heels on the wet grass. Dad! Vincent stammered, eyes wide with panic. What are you doing here? You're supposed to be in Atlanta. We were just checking on you. Thought we heard something. You brought a stranger with a crowbar to check on me at 5 in the morning? I asked, keeping my voice steady. Beverly jumped right in, putting on her fake smile. Lawrence, don't overreact, she said, voice shaking. We lost our spare key, and Vincent left some important papers in your office. We were just trying to get them without waking you up. I didn't say a word, just stepped aside and hit the porch light. That bright light showed the 3 federal agents stepping out of my hallway, badges gleaming on their vests. The silence was deafening. That hired guy didn't wait around. He turned and ran across my lawn, disappearing into the dark. Vincent and Beverly couldn't move. They were stuck to my porch like their feet were glued. Down. Vincent, Detective Thompson said, stepping past me with a thick folder in his hand. We've got a federal warrant to search this place, specifically your dad's office, for wire fraud, identity theft, and bank fraud tied to your accounts. And since you're already here trying to break into a crime scene, we can skip the trip to your fancy condo. Vincent opened his mouth, but nothing came out. He looked at the agents, then at me. You could see it hitting him. The old man he thought was clueless had just trapped him like a rat. Dad, please, Vincent whispered, his voice cracking. Whatever you think I did, we can talk about this inside. Just tell them to leave. We're family. I looked at the son I'd raised, the man who was ready to steal my security, my home, everything I'd worked for, just to keep up some fake rich lifestyle. I shook my head slowly. Family protects each other, Vincent. You're nothing but a parasite trying to pick my bones clean. Now you're going to pay for it. I nodded to Detective Thompson and walked back to my kitchen to finish my coffee. Behind me, I heard those handcuffs click into place. Best sound I'd heard in years. The betrayal hurt like hell, but the justice was all mine. And this was just the beginning. Vincent's shock turned into damage control real quick. He stepped forward, his expensive boots sinking into my muddy yard. Dad, he started, ignoring the 3 federal agents standing right there. You're confused. We were doing a wellness check. You're getting older and your memory's not what it used to be. We drove over here because you didn't answer your phone yesterday. I looked at him with disgust. I didn't answer because it was Tuesday. I play poker with the VFW guys on Tuesday nights, which you'd know if you'd bothered asking about my life in the last 10 years. And nobody brings a crowbar to check on someone. Detective Thompson stepped onto the porch. A wellness check at 5 a.m. while your father's supposed to be out of town? That's interesting. Want to explain why you were caught on security cameras trying to break into a federal witness's office? That's when Beverly decided to take charge. She pushed past Vincent, her face turning red. Beverly always had balls, but watching her try to boss around armed federal agents was a whole new level of stupid. Excuse me, she snapped, pointing her manicured finger at Detective Thompson. I don't know who you think you are, but you've got no right being here. This is family business and you're trespassing. Thompson didn't even blink. Ma'am, we have a federal warrant. Beverly crossed her arms over her designer coat and raised her voice like she was talking to some store manager. I don't care what fake papers you brought to scare an old man. This is our house. My husband's the heir to this place, and we've got every right to be here. You need to leave before I call the real police. I stood there watching my son and his wife throw a tantrum on my front porch, and I felt this cold anger settle in my gut. Our house. She actually stood on my porch, looked at the brick and mortar I'd paid for with 35 years of military service, and called it hers. Beverly wasn't done. You're just trying to make Vincent look like a criminal because you're bitter. You've always hated me, always tried to control us with your money. I stared at her, thinking about the last decade. I'd cashed out a big chunk of my retirement to pay $120,000 for their Hawaii wedding because Beverly wouldn't get married anywhere else. I'd written check after check for Vincent's 3 different business ideas. Everyone failed because Vincent spent the money on cars, vacations, and fancy dinners instead of actually running a business. I'd poured my blood, sweat, and savings into giving them the good life. And how'd they pay me back? By treating me like a bank account they had to tolerate. You're completely nuts, Beverly, I said quietly. You've been living off me for 10 years, and you think my kindness makes me weak. You think I don't know about the credit cards you maxed out? Think I don't know about that country club membership you're paying for with money Vincent stole from my life insurance? Beverly stopped screaming. Her mouth fell open. Vincent whipped around to look at her, finally realizing how much I actually knew. The feds had all the financial records, but hearing it out loud broke their little fantasy. They thought they were playing some dumb old guy who spent his days at the VFW and church. They had no clue they were dealing with a retired military investigator who'd spent his whole career catching liars. "I investigated generals, Vincent," I said, looking right at my shaking son. "You really think I wouldn't notice when my own kids started forging my signature?" Detective Thompson stepped forward. "You're in deep trouble, Mr. Patterson. We've got the bank records, the forged signatures, the wire transfers to shell companies in your name." I watched Vincent brace for handcuffs, but Thompson didn't pull them out. Instead, he reached into his jacket and pulled out folded papers. He pressed them against Vincent's chest. Vincent looked down, confused. "We're not arresting you today," Thompson explained. "This is a federal subpoena. You need to show up for a grand jury tomorrow at 9 a.m. and hand over all your electronics, financial records, and passport. Try to run or destroy evidence, and I'll personally drag you out of your condo in front of all your rich neighbors. We clear?" Vincent nodded, holding that subpoena like it was his death sentence. Thompson tipped his hat to me, signaled his men, and they walked off into the dark morning. I stood in my doorway looking at the two people who'd tried to destroy me. "Get off my property," I said. "Don't ever come back." Beverly grabbed Vincent's arm, dragging him toward their car. But Vincent stopped halfway down the walkway. He turned around, fear turning into rage. He pointed a shaking finger at me. "You think you won? This doesn't change anything. Dad left this house to me in the trust. I've got the papers to prove it. You belong in a nursing home, and I'm going to make sure you end up in one." He got in the car and slammed the door so hard the windows shook. I watched them speed away. I didn't feel scared, just smiled, closed my door, and locked it. "Let him try," I whispered. "Let him show everyone what a fool he really is." The emergency hearing came with gray skies hanging over the courthouse. I walked in wearing my best charcoal suit, carrying just one leather briefcase, took my seat and waited. Vincent came down the aisle looking like hell. Without Beverly managing his wardrobe, he was wearing the same wrinkled suit he'd slept in for 3 days. His shoes were scuffed, tie crooked. He had to represent himself because no decent lawyer would touch his case. But even looking like a mess, Vincent still had that cocky attitude. He actually smirked at me when he sat down. Still thought his fake trust document would save him from federal prison. Judge Williams called the case. Vincent stood up, buttoning his jacket. "Your Honor, I'm here to protect my family and make sure my father gets the help he needs. My father's had a serious mental decline. He's become paranoid and can't handle money anymore." He held up a thick blue folder. "The biggest problem is protecting the Patterson family estate. My late mother left clear instructions about our wealth. I'm submitting the official Patterson Family Trust to the court." Vincent handed those documents to the bailiff with a big smile. I sat there listening to my son try to bury me alive in legal paperwork. When the judge called my name, I stood up slowly. "Your Honor, I've got a detailed response. I'd like to take the witness stand." I walked up there and opened my briefcase, pulled out document overlays I'd prepared. "Your Honor, my son says I've got dementia, but 2 weeks ago I took a complete psychiatric exam. Dr. Coleman found I've got excellent mental function and 0 signs of dementia." I picked up the first overlay. "For 35 years, I worked as a military financial investigator. My whole career was about catching fraud and spotting fake documents." I projected my voice across the courtroom. "I want you to look at the font used in this so-called authentic trust. This document's dated October 14th, 2010. But look at my forensic analysis. The document uses Calibri font." I paused, letting that sink in. Calibri wasn't available to the public until 2007. But here's the real kicker. The notary stamp belongs to Arthur Jenkins. The document says he notarized it for me and my late wife. Problem is, Arthur Jenkins died of a heart attack 3 years before this document was supposedly signed. I looked right at Vincent, watching him turn white as a sheet. "I've got his death certificate right here. My son didn't just forge my signature, Your Honor. He brought you a document notarized by a dead man using a font that didn't exist, trying to steal property he never had any right to." Judge Williams stared at the evidence, then slowly looked up at Vincent. The judge's face was stone cold. "Mr. Patterson," Judge Williams said, his voice echoing through the courtroom. "You had the nerve to walk into my courtroom with obviously forged documents trying to steal your father's home. I'm denying your petition completely. I'm holding you in contempt of court. And I'm sending you to the U.S. Attorney's Office for federal perjury and elder fraud charges. Bailiff, arrest this man." Vincent screamed as the officers grabbed him, but you couldn't hear him over the judge's gavel slamming down. That was just the start. Over the next few months, the federal case built up steam. Vincent had also been stealing from Grace Fellowship Baptist Building Fund, $200,000 that was supposed to go toward a new community center. The congregation was furious when they found out. I'll never forget that Sunday when Pastor Williams asked me to address the church. I stood up at the pulpit, looking out at faces of people I'd known for years. "Some of you believed lies about me," I said simply. "That's okay. I understand why. But the truth came out in federal court. Vincent stole from this church, and he tried to steal from me. I've always been straight with you folks, and I always will be." The whole congregation stood up and applauded. Made me feel good to have my reputation back. Meanwhile, Vincent was falling apart fast. Beverly had already filed for divorce and kicked him out of their condo. His business collapsed. The loan sharks he owed money to were looking for him. He was desperate. That's when he made his biggest mistake. 3 days before his federal trial, Vincent tried to make one last grab for money. He walked into Central Bank downtown, trying to wire that $2 million insurance loan to an offshore account in Dubai. I'd been watching, of course, had the bank flagged, months ago. The moment Vincent authorized that transfer, alarms went off everywhere. I was sitting in the bank manager's office when they brought Vincent in. He looked shocked as hell to see me there. "What are you doing here?" he whispered. "I flagged this account weeks ago," I said calmly. "Trying to steal money is one thing, but attempting to wire $2 million overseas using forged documents? That's a major federal crime. I needed you to actually press that button to get it on the record." Vincent fell to his knees right there on the carpet. Through the glass walls, he could see a dozen FBI agents surrounding the office. "You walked right into my trap, son." The glass walls felt like a cage as armed agents filled the small room. Vincent got yanked up from the floor, arms twisted behind his back. Those handcuffs clicked for the second time in a week, but this time there'd be no bail. He fought against the agents, his shirt tearing. He looked at me with wild, bloodshot eyes. "Mom, he screamed. "Tell them to stop! There's been a mistake! You can't let them take me!" I stayed in my chair, expression blank. I watched my son, the child I'd sacrificed everything to protect, turn into a cornered animal. The truth hit him then. I was the one who'd planned his destruction from the beginning. "You ruined my life," Vincent screamed, thrashing against the agents holding him. "You planned this whole thing. You set me up. You're a monster. How could you do this to your own son?" He spit the words at me, face twisted with hate. "You're my father. You're supposed to protect me. You're supposed to love me no matter what. I hate you." Vincent kept screaming his blame, like I was responsible for the mess he'd made. He really believed that being his father meant I had to sacrifice myself on the altar of his greed. Thought I should lay down and let him steal my home, my savings, my dignity just because I'd brought him into this world. I listened to his tantrum, feeling nothing but finality. That invisible cord that had tied my heart to his for 38 years was finally cut for good. The agent started dragging him toward the door. "Wait," I said quietly, raising one hand. They paused, holding Vincent in the doorway. I stood up slowly and walked over until I was inches from his sweating, furious face. He stopped thrashing, breathing hard, expecting to see guilt or a change of heart. But he was looking into the eyes of a retired military investigator who'd spent a lifetime burying financial predators tougher than him. I looked him dead in the eye. "You're right about one thing, Vincent. A father protects his child. I spent your whole life protecting you from the consequences of your stupidity. Paid your debts, funded your failures, shielded you from reality." I took a breath. "But you're not a child anymore. You're a 38-year-old man who chose to become a predator. And a man protects himself from parasites." I stepped back. "You stopped being my son when you brought that crowbar to my door at 5 a.m. You stopped being family when you filed fake papers to lock me in a nursing home. You dug this grave yourself, Vincent. Now you're going to lie in it." His jaw dropped. Whatever spirit he had left just broke. He realized there were no more second chances, no more bailouts, no more desperate apologies to save him. He was completely alone. I turned my back and nodded to the lead agent. "Take him away. I don't want to see his face again." They dragged Vincent across the bank floor. He didn't scream anymore, just hung his head as those glass doors closed behind him. The federal system worked fast after that. With all my evidence, the trials were quick. Beverly got 5 years for tax evasion and fraud. Her parents, Kenneth and Nancy, went bankrupt, paying for lawyers, and lost everything: their house, cars, country club membership. They ended up in a tiny rental apartment, completely disgraced. Vincent faced the worst of it. The feds got him on church theft, wire fraud, identity theft, and perjury. He stood in that courtroom wearing orange, all alone. The judge showed no mercy. 8 years in federal prison. He lost everything. I sat in the back during his sentencing, watching the bailiffs lead him away in chains. Didn't feel sad or sorry, just peaceful. I'd cut out the cancer and protected what I'd built over 35 years. 6 months later, I was sitting on my back porch with a glass of sweet tea, watching the sunset. My house was quiet except for birds singing in the oak trees. I'd restructured my whole $15 million estate into something worthwhile. An educational foundation supporting young veterans who wanted careers in financial investigation and fraud prevention. Joyce Franklin, that single mother from church, was now running the foundation. I'd mentored her, paid for her college, and watched her blossom into an amazing leader. She deserved every opportunity I could give her. My VFW buddy Ted Wilson stopped by most evenings. We'd sit on the porch, drink beer, and talk about everything except the family drama. Ted understood military honor. When someone violates trust, you cut them off. Simple as that. The church community had rallied around me completely. Pastor Williams asked me to rejoin the board, but I declined. I was done with official positions. Just wanted to help where I could and enjoy my peace. Detective Thompson became a real friend. He'd stop by sometimes, and we'd talk shop about financial crimes. Turned out we had a lot in common. Both of us dedicated our careers to catching thieves and protecting honest people. Most evenings, I'd get a call from my grandson. Beverly had tried to keep him away from me during the divorce, but once he turned 18, he reached out on his own. Smart kid, nothing like his parents. He was studying business and wanted to learn about real estate investing. I was happy to teach him. "Grandpa," he said during one call, "I'm sorry about what Dad did to you. Not your fault." "Son," I told him, "you can't choose your parents, but you can choose the kind of man you become. Just remember, integrity isn't something you can buy or steal. You either have it or you don't." As the sun set behind my oak trees, I felt something I hadn't felt in years: complete contentment. I was a 62-year-old man living alone, but I'd never felt less lonely. I had my chosen family, my community respect, and my financial security. I'd fought the hardest battle of my life using the skills the Army taught me: intelligence gathering, strategic planning, tactical execution, and I'd won completely. Sometimes people ask me if I regret turning in my own son. The answer's simple. A man who won't protect himself doesn't deserve what he's built. The sharpest weapon you can have isn't anger or revenge, it's being prepared. In 35 years of military service, I learned that the best battles are won before they're fought. When someone shows you who they really are, believe them. And be ready. Blood makes you related, but loyalty makes you family. The people who deserve your trust are the ones who stand by you when you have nothing left to give.